welcome to Outside Xbox and a very special YouTube Geek Week episode of Show of the Week. I'm Jane.
And I'm Andy. This week I've been using the Force, the mystical, metaphysical power from the Star Wars universe that binds every living thing together and flows through all of us. It's amazing. Use it to electrocute people in the face and then you hurl them to their agonising deaths and they're like, ah.
Yep. Meanwhile, I've been getting excited for those Star Wars sequels by remembering some of my favourite scenes from the prequels. No, nothing. Oh man, come on George.
They're making more Star Wars films. Didn't someone pass a law?
No, they didn't. But actually these ones might be all right. Take a look at this.
Are you threatening me, Master Jedi?
Okay, kicking the Star Wars prequels is as easy as shooting fish in a barrel with the Death Star, so let's not do that.
You know I don't like it when you do that.
Sorry, Master.
Instead, let's look to the future, and to the new Star Wars trilogy that's on the way from Star Trek/Lost/Lens Flare maestro J.J. Abrams. The JJ stands for Jeffrey Jacob, by the way, not Jar Jar. We checked. All the elements are coming together for the new trilogy to be not awful. We've got a proven director who understands grand-scale sci-fi, John Williams is back on board to do the score, and it sounds like George Lucas is being kept as far away from the project as possible.
Hey George, it's not going to work you coming by the office anymore. It burned down. Yeah, no plans to build a new one, so just don't come by here anymore. Yeah, just ruins.
But we were optimistic before with the prequel trilogy, and look how that turned out. Sorry, positivity. It all hinges on the story. The new Star Wars trilogy is essentially a blank slate. The Empire was defeated at the end of Return of the Jedi, leaving the writers free to do whatever they want with the plot. If they're smart, they'll look to other Star Wars fiction to see what works and what doesn't within the expanded universe. And if you ask us, some of the best Star Wars stories ever told have been told in video games. Stay tuned for more on how the Star Wars video games can save the Star Wars movies. Except for that one.
Okay, all right, I'm going on break. Catch you in a minute.
Okay, see you soon. I'm going to stay here and practice levitating fruit with the Force. Oh, god damn it.
Hey, Mike, how's it going?
Yeah, good. I was just thinking about those new Star Wars sequels that are on the way.
Yeah, me too. So, do you think J.J. Abrams is gonna, screw him up?
Maybe not, but only if he's been paying attention to video games.
While the beloved sci-fi series' recent cinematic history has been ironically less than stellar, video games have been quietly getting Star Wars right for approximately 3 decades now. Yes, right up until last year when that thing happened. Tell you what else is so low, my mood after seeing that clip for a second time. But as long as Abrams and co take cues from the good Star Wars games, they've got a ready-made grab bag of great themes and spectacular moments to crib from. They just need to stitch them all together and resist the urge to use the word midichlorians ever again. Here are 6 things we want to see the new Star Wars trilogy steal from Star Wars video games. Alright, as party pieces go, choking someone to death with the power of your mind is still pretty impressive, even if you have to pinch your fingers together to do it. But come on, it's a bit old hat now. Even little girls are at it.
Find the rebels hidden fort.
In Star Wars The Force Unleashed, playable anti-hero Starkiller is the Jedi equivalent of a steroid abuser. His ridiculously amped force powers peak in a sequence where he pulls an entire Imperial Star Destroyer from orbit and brings it crashing to the ground. Palpatine's a pussycat compared to this guy. This is exactly the level of destruction we want to see when 2 Jedi clash in the climactic battle at the end of Episode 9. Yes, Star Wars is supposed to be a battle between good and evil on a galactic scale, but if the movies and sales of Boba Fett branded merchandise have taught us anything, it's that the characters with a little bit of bad in them always wind up as people's favourites. That's why lank-haired history teacher Qui-Gon Jinn is precisely no one's favourite character. Games have been getting this right for ages. Take Kyle Katarn from the Dark Forces and Jedi Knight games. He's not just a lovable roguish smuggler a la Han Solo, he starts the first Dark Forces game as a straight-up mercenary.
A new stormtrooper that can take out a rebel base that quickly? I should have kept working for the Empire.
No question over who shot first here, it was him. Carl's flirtations with the dark side are nothing on Starkillers though, who spends the bulk of The Force Unleashed working as Darth Vader's secret apprentice. Plus he has the added bonus that unlike Katarn, he doesn't look like someone's dad. Clone Wars was teased for ages as a huge conflict that would change the galaxy forever. When the first battle on Geonosis finally appeared on film in Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones, it felt more like a riot after a sporting event than the first salvo in all-out galactic war. Compare that to Star Wars Battlefront 2, where the fight ranges from on-foot gunslinging in the forests of Endor to a huge dogfight in orbit over Tatooine. And with DICE, the team behind the 64-player Battlefield 4, taking over the reins of the Battlefront series in the future, that sense of scale is going to be even greater. If we're in the middle of an interstellar war, we want to feel like it. Remember Mos Eisley, the infamous hive of scum and villainy? It felt like a real lived-in corner of the galaxy. Then think of the shiny, polished CG locations from the prequel films. It's like the set designer was allergic to corners. They can't be real places. You need an army of clones just to keep the palace and Theed that clean. Meanwhile, games like Knights of the Old Republic, Jedi Knight and the sadly cancelled Star Wars 1313 had you exploring the dirtiest corners of the galaxy, full of convincing utilitarian locations and dodgy characters. Forget the politics and show us the real places and people in all their grimy glory.
Let's check.
The original Star Wars movies wore their heart on their sleeve. Sometimes they were tragic, sometimes they were sweet, and sometimes they were goofy, but all their warmth came from character relationships.
Our fates are strongly connected, so connected that a literal bond has been forged between us.
Knights of the Old Republic came out in 2003 and was made by BioWare, the studio that went on to give us Mass Effect. In grand BioWare tradition, Knights of the Old Republic made you care desperately about your assembled gang. And not one of the characters ruined the mood during a romantic tryst by talking about how coarse and irritating sand is. Even if you're not interested in equality, it'd be good to have more female Jedi just for the sake of variety. There's only one Twi'lek who gets to see any real action in all 6 films, and in general the Jedi Order is a total sausage fest. Not a problem in the games, which has such brilliant characters as Knights of the Old Republic's Bastila Shan, who's a formidable Jedi Sentinel. Even Luke Skywalker's eventual Mrs. Mara Jade gets a playable outing in Jedi Knight Mysteries of the Sith, rocking the purple lightsaber well before Samuel L. Jackson made it fashionable. And why stop at the light side of the Force? Jedi Knight featured Saris as one of the strongest and most ruthless of the 7 Dark Jedi. We'd love the latest iconic Sith antagonist to be a Darth of the female persuasion. Go on JJ, make it happen for us and we promise we'll never mention that terrible Lost game ever again.
Now it's time for the feedback section where we skim the wordy cream off the bottom half of the internet. This week we're taking a look at our geekiest videos to find out what people have been saying about them recently.
On our video about the quantum physics of Bioshock Infinite, in which we examined, among other things, flux pinning, which would in theory allow the City of Columbia to float, Pharaoh Guile says, so, not giant balloons.
While Stephen Daniels 84 says, you lost me after Cat Death Machine, lol. Spacepools 8274, however, is seriously about to drop everything and go get a degree in physics.
Oh God, what have I done?
That's fine, they probably just want to know how to make a cat death machine.
Well, let's hope so. A few months ago, we also got sick of eating regular food that is in no way related to video games, so we decided to bake a portal cake. Hannah Rose Fuyu is confused. Surely the box should just be empty, she says.
Ms. Fraggle Rocks wasn't impressed, saying GLaDOS would be extra sarcastic about this effort.
But we get sweet, sweet pity from Greggy Kolbeksky, who says the resemblance to the original cake is remarkable. For a minute, I thought you just stole a portal cake prop.
The Aperture Science cake, as seen in Portal.
It is astonishing.
Yeah. Finally, and in keeping with this week's theme, on a recent video about the partnership between EA and Disney to make Star Wars games, and whether that would be a good thing or a bad thing, Grizzard Beebles says, I only just found out about Star Wars 1313, and I definitely get the feeling that it was already recycled from the ashes of that scrapped live-action TV series that got bandied about at the turn of the millennium. Besides, the last thing we need is another uninspired cover-based shooter. I'd much rather see something like an adventure, roguelike, or survival horror game where you're a Jedi Master stranded on a planet with a bunch of younglings with disparate skills trying to evade Order 66.
While Game Glider says, with all this hate, the final boss battle is probably a giant Jar Jar Binks.
Oh man, I bet Andy that we could get to the end of the show without mentioning Jar Jar again.
Sorry.
Yeah, well I better go pay him. I owe him like £20 now. This has been the worst Geek Week ever.
Applesauce?
No, I'm fine, thanks. That's it for this week's show of the week, but don't forget to subscribe on YouTube for daily videos about the most exciting current and upcoming games.
You can also find us on Twitter at Outside Xbox or over on OutsideXbox.com. I'll see you next time.
All right, good show. I'll catch you tomorrow.
Yeah, cool.
Pass me my bag.
Okay. Do better than that.
Sorry, I'll get it.
I honestly did it once.